I need to make sure that it was on. Mama, she raised me to be more than just common. So I went for it. Oh, I went for it. I take girls, yes. I take license. Give me a license. It's too expensive. I take girls, yes. I get blessings on blessings on. I take girls, yes. Give me a license. It's too expensive. I take girls, yes. Blessings on. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. We will be getting started in a few. I don't wanna be in this mess longer than I need to be in this mess. I take L's, yes. I get lessons. Give me a license. It's too expensive. I take L's, yes. I get blessings on blessings. I take L's, yes. Give me a license. It's too expensive. I take LJ on blessings. Oh, I will take the L and still win. Be still, oh, I will take the L and still win. And be still, oh, I will take the L and still. I will take the L and still. I will take the L and still win. I will take the L and be still. I take L's, yes. I take lessons. Give me a license. It's too expensive. I take L's, yes. I take blessings on blessings. Oh, we're getting started in a few, guys. Good evening. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Give me a license. It's too expensive. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. What's up? What's up? Black Lives Matter. Good evening, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Oh, excuse me. Welcome to Wound Care Wednesday. My name is Shelby. I am the Healing Empress. Okay. And before we get started, y'all, I just love to let y'all know this is a no judge zone. Okay. This is a safe space. That's what I want. Okay. If you're here to judge people, get your ass out. This is not jury duty. This is not your channel. Okay. Because I do trip over my words. I might lose my train of thought in the middle of talking. Okay. I may not know how to pronounce a word. A lot of shit be going on. Okay. I'm just here to be myself. All right. And I do want to give a trigger warning because tonight I am going to be discussing something that is very sensitive to me. But it may trigger, some other people. So I just want to give that trigger warning. Okay. Before we get started, thank you guys for being here with me. All right. So let me turn this music down a little bit because if he distracting me, really, distracting me. Okay. So last week I spoke about how to remain confident when your external environment doesn't match your internal environment. Okay. And I recently had a reality check. I had a wake-up call. God gave me a wake-up call, and it triggered a lot of things for me. It had me thinking about a lot of things that have happened to me in my past, and the reasons behind some of my actions. And although I've said before, I'm a very open person, but I'm also very private about a lot of matters. And I have not ever shared this, publicly, and I really haven't shared it with many people, even like in my life. I just haven't shared it. And it just really made me start thinking and reflecting, like, how much I have allowed things that happened to me in my past to keep me from speaking my truth or keep me from doing certain things. And so I feel led to share it with you guys, just to shed some light so you guys can kind of get a little background on things that I've been through in my past that have led me to where I am today. Okay. So everything really it stems for me. It really started with the low self-esteem. Okay. So low self-esteem can manifest in different ways. And with me, the way that it manifested in different ways with me. But one of the ways that it showed up in my life is with drinking. And when I say drinking, not as an alcoholic, but drinking when I would go out. So when I would go out, when I first started going out, of course, a long time ago, in my early 20s, when I first started going out, I started, that's when I really started drinking. It's when I turned 21. I started drinking and I started going out, and I used to always hear people like, say, oh, I need a drink because I need to have a drink to have a good time or whatever. And before I started drinking, I really didn't understand why. And so after I turned 21, I started drinking. I would be going out, whatever. So it all started off as fun, and it started off as fun as like, okay, I'm going out, I'm drinking, but then I started to become codependent on it, which I hadn't realized throughout a lot of years. But I started to become codependent on it when I would be out because it would help ease my social anxiety. It would make me feel more confident. It would make me feel more free. It would make me feel that, I'm in my own world. I don't have to worry about the people judging me. I don't have to worry about what people are saying, what people are thinking. And it just became a crutch. It became a crutch for me. You know how they say, you drink and you need some liquid courage, and it just became a crutch for me. So when I would go out, I'm like, yes, we are having fun, but I'm also drinking to help ease my social anxiety and all these things, trying to just feel more comfortable being in my own skin. Because, growing up, I got teased a lot. I got teased about my weight. I got teased about my skin, about my hair, about where I lived, about just so many different things, so many different factors. And like, I felt like I was always being judged, always being overlooked, always, just not truly being seen for who I really was. And at that time, when I started going out and started drinking, it was a crutch. It was a crutch for me to feel more comfortable in my own skin because I hadn't learned how to love myself. I hadn't learned how to just be comfortable being me, no matter who says what. Just being comfortable in my own skin. I had not grasped that. I did not love myself in the way that I should have been loving myself and valuing myself. So throughout that time, there were plenty of times where I've made stupid ass decisions. Stupid decisions. There's been plenty of times where I've done things out of character. There has been plenty of times where I did not remember what happened. My friends would tell me like, oh, you did this and you said this. And well, that was when I was younger. That didn't happen that often. But as I started getting older, and once I started making the transition, like started kind of making transitions and changes in my life, I was carrying that habit with me of needing alcohol to feel comfortable in my own skin. I was carrying that habit with me. It had become a habit And it was, so I would go out and I'm like, okay, I go out and need a drink. Like, let's drink, like, let's go. You know, I want to feel good. I want to get to the point where I'm not thinking about, you know, what everybody else is saying about me. So, you know, once I finally, like, it was in 2022, you know, when I was feeling really trapped in my body. Well, I had always struggled with weight issues and low self-esteem and stuff, but in 2022 was when I actually made the decision, like, you know what, something has to change. Something has got to give. Like, I am sick of feeling like a prisoner, right? So in 2022, I decided to have the gastric sleeve February 2022. Fast forward to now. So now I'm like more than 80 pounds smaller, more than 80 pounds lighter, right? So what I hadn't realized is that I was still drinking the same amount that I would drink when I was heavier. When I would go out, when I lost weight, I would still be drinking the same amount that I was drinking when I was heavier. And what I didn't realize was just how much I was able to tolerate before was a lot. And then just drinking it now, like it wasn't at the forefront of my mind, like, okay, you're smaller, so you can tolerate less. And I would be drinking the same amount, and then I would be not remembering what the hell happened the next day. And just recently, an incident happened where my safety was compromised, where I put myself in a position to be violated because I wasn't more mindful about my drinking. And it was a big wake up call for me, because that is the second time in my life that really just it was like God was like speaking directly to me, like, okay, you need to wake the hell up. Like, what's going on? What are you doing? And you know, when I started thinking about it, when I started reflecting on it, and I'm like, okay, so, you know, and I was like, okay, well, like, how did I get here again? How did I get to this place again where I drank too much and now I don't remember what the hell happened, and I put myself in a compromising situation because I had no idea what was going on. So I started reflecting on things and started reflecting on lessons that I've been taught, lessons that I've learned, and places where God has been leading me to go. And, you know, I had realized that I would be going out and then not remembering things that happened. It started happening more frequently. And that's what really made me pay attention to what was going on. And I'm like, well, what is the reason? And I realized that, you know, before when I first started going out and first started drinking when I was younger, I would be drinking for a reason. There was an intention behind my drinking. I was drinking because it made me feel more free. It made me feel comfortable to be myself. It made me forget about other people judging me, forget about social anxiety. And through my healing journey, when I started working on myself, I realized, like, okay, now I'm at the point where my confidence is solid, and I don't need alcohol to feel comfortable in my skin. I don't need it to make me feel less anxious or make me feel like I can just be free to be myself. It got to a point where I was just, okay, I'm drinking. It's a habit, like how they say, what old habits die hard, or whatever the saying is. But it had become a habit to, like, when I go out, I drink. And I had done it for so long before with an intention that once I started being out and drinking, and it was just like, okay, I'm just enjoying the moment, enjoying the vibe, enjoying the people, trust, and and the people that I'm with, I'm trusting them. So I would sometimes be drinking mindlessly, like we out having a good time, like one drink ends, like let's get another one, not even thinking about it. But at this point, like now I'm not drinking to feel more confident. Now I'm drinking out of habit. And how I mentioned earlier when I said that sometimes how I talked about last week, how our external world doesn't always meet match our internal world. And sometimes it takes time for our external world to match what we are feeling internally. And internally, I've done the work, but externally, I still hadn't let go of that habit that I've carried with me for years, that I didn't even realize it had been all this time, like because of me feeling low, having low self-esteem and wanting to feel comfortable. And in my past, like I said before, I have made some poor decisions while drinking. And the incident that happened recently really put things into perspective for me, because I had been heeding the warnings that God has been giving me to be more mindful about things. And I had just naturally kind of just started going into hermit mode. It wasn't planned. I just naturally just started going into hermit mode and just focusing more on myself, and naturally just not going out as much, just because I was just studying myself and just spending time with me. So these last few months, I haven't really been going out much. I hang out with my family, I'll hang out with my family, and I've gone out with friends here and there. But I really been on some chill shit, y'all. I really just been in hermit mode, just been focusing on myself and just trying to remain obedient, stay the course, and just listen to the guidance that God has been giving me. And and I haven't been going wild, drinking crazy and stuff. And I would still drink when I go out, but I was, I was being more mindful. But another habit of mine is when I'm with people that I really trust and feel like I don't have to question, like I know I'm going to be good. I have a habit of just letting my guard down and drinking mindlessly. So, because it wasn't every time that I'm going out, I'm getting fucked up. It wasn't every time, but the times that it happened, was weighing on me. So, my bad, y'all. So, my bad. See, I lost my train of thought. Let me go back to what I was saying. So yes, so that was another habit that I had, is, when I go out and I'm with people I trust, like letting my guard down, like not being more mindful really about what I'm drinking, because I know that I'm going to be good. No, I don't have nothing to worry about. And this incident made me start thinking about things that I have experienced in my past, right? Because a lot of times God will use certain situations to teach us a lesson that we are not grasping. He will sometimes just use it so you can be used as an example of what happens when you do certain things. And like I said before, I had been, chilling on the drinking, well, mostly it's the drinking, not really the going out, but it's chilling on the drinking, and I, being more mindful about it. And so when this event came up, I was excited. I'm like, I'm about to be around people that I love, that I care about, that I haven't seen in a while and whatever. So not thinking anything of it. Okay. Just in the moment. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't been going out. I'm going to have me a good time. Like not thinking, whatever. And just enjoying the moment, y'all, feeling the vibe. And, And so by the end of the night, y'all, I did not remember what happened. I was completely blacked out. Like, people telling me, oh, this happened. You said this. And also that I was violated by somebody that I really trusted, that I never would have questioned, which really broke my heart and really also made me upset with myself, that I had allowed myself to repeat this habit again of not thinking what just because, and I know just because you're with people that you trust and stuff, you still need to be alert and things. But again, I was still carrying that bad habit that I had before, and I hadn't realized that it was an actual habit. And God used this incident to reveal that to me, to realize that, hey, look, you really are tripping. You've been already thinking about, like, okay, I need to chill, I need to stop, and now you're repeating the same thing again. So what are we doing? We need to, like what's going on? And then other things start coming up, things that happened to me in my past, of how I've let my guard down around people that I trusted. And some of these people that I trusted violated me. They took advantage. They took advantage of my vulnerability. They took advantage of my trust for them. And it has happened to me multiple times where I have been violated by men. And it's not something that I have spoken about. It's not something that I really wanted to speak about. But it's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that I needed. It was something that needed to come to the front for me to deal and process, because I honestly have never really processed it. When things happened, I felt the way, and I didn't say anything. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't report it. Well, one incident, I told someone, but I don't think they took me seriously. And through this incident that happened where I drank too much, it also revealed to me that I didn't speak my truth so many times because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of being seen, afraid of being heard. And that all stemmed from growing up and feeling judged all the time, being teased, being left out of things, being just not built up, and not loving myself. Okay, these are things that stemmed from not loving myself and having that low self-esteem. And so I didn't speak out about it. I didn't say anything. And I realized that a lot of times things happen to people and they don't speak out about it because they are afraid of being judged. And people will say, well, if you didn't put yourself in that situation, well, that wouldn't have happened. And they victim shame and they blame you. And sometimes people just don't believe you, or they judge you. So it makes you reluctant to tell the truth, to tell your truth. Because imagine being somebody who's already feeling like low self-esteem, and already then you start blaming yourself, and then feeling like, well, nobody's going to believe me. They're going to be like, well, oh, well, you shouldn't have been doing this. You shouldn't have been doing that. You should have had your guard up. But it's like, damn, I trusted these people and these things happen to me. So, and I think that happens a lot also with it, like generational curses. Things happen to people, to other family members, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to say anything because we don't talk about that kind of stuff. But then it keeps happening generation after generation because nobody wants to talk about it. Because nobody wants to make somebody mad or make somebody upset or make somebody look bad. But these things are things that need to be talked about so that it doesn't continue to happen generation after generation when people don't know about stuff. Because for me, it was like, yo, if I'm in an environment where I don't feel like my safety would be threatened, like I feel like the people that I'm with, I can trust, like I don't have to worry about anything. And I'm not making an excuse for myself at all. I'm not making an excuse. I take full accountability for not being more mindful with my drinking. But also, I would, I never thought that I needed to be more on guard. I never thought that I needed to be more on guard with certain people. And so this incident happened, and it really just opened my eyes up to realize that we have to be, I don't want to say, because it's like I'm not about to live my life in fear and live my life where I'm like, you know what, well, I can't trust anybody. I just know that I need to be more mindful and have more control over things that are within my control. And initially I was beating myself up initially. But I do have some people that love me a lot, and they actually saved me that night. And God showed me just how love, protected, and supported that I really am, even more so. So I don't know. I really, it just shows me, it, it just shows me that things are really happening for me and not to me, because I don't want to play the victim role, because I had some responsibility in the incident, because I know that had I not been drinking as much as I was, I know that things would never have occurred the way that they did. And the fact that I don't remember and I can't remember, and that I had to be told these details, it was just another wake up call for me, because the first time when I could not remember anything that happened and I woke up in the back of somebody's car, that was a warning then. That was a warning then. And this just goes to show you that when God tells you to do something, you need to listen. When I be giving advice, it's not just in vain. It's not just it's not just because, oh, I'm just talking just to talk, or because I think I'm better than people. No, this is because I've been through things. God has showed me things. I've been through things, and I've disobeyed God more than once. And I've had to learn lessons the hard way more than once. Because a lot of times people see you, but they don't really know different things that you've been through, different things that you've been delivered from. Because I'm not a type of person that just tells my business to everybody. Like, people might think that they know a lot about me, but there's a lot that people don't know because I don't talk about it. And now God is leading me to talk about certain things more because there's other people that need to hear it. There's other people that may be going through the same thing, struggling with the same things, that need to hear that you're not alone in going through certain issues, in overcoming certain obstacles. I'm not a perfect human, and I don't strive to be perfect. But I'm always striving to be a better version of myself. And sometimes God has to show us these tough lessons he has to get us to learn these lessons in a crazy fucked up way sometimes, to really get our attention, to really get us to grasp the, what's the word I want to use? I don't know what word I want to use, but sometimes God is just trying to get our attention so you could just really see the calling over your life, really see what he's trying to do for you, where he's trying to lead you to. And I was saying before, like, initially I was beating myself up, but that's something I always tell myself: things are happening for me. It's not happening to me. It's happening for me. And the reason why this happened is because there are some truths that needed to be revealed, some truths about myself that I hadn't realized that I needed to face and process and deal with, and some truths about some people that I trusted, and the truth needed to come to the light. So when I go through tough things like this now, I just try to process, like I write stuff down to try to process these feelings. And even talking about this before, when the incident happened and I started writing and started processing things and started feeling like, okay, that this is something that I need for you to share. This is something that I need for you to be vulnerable about. Initially, I'm like, Lord, like, why? I don't want to talk about this. Like, I don't, like, it's embarrassing. It's, you know, I don't want to talk about it. People are going to judge me. People are going to this. And it's like, yo, you can't control other people's opinions about you. And that's why I had to remind myself, I can't control people's opinions about me. People are going to judge me regardless. Even if I did everything right, people are going to judge me regardless. But at the end of the day, I know my character. God knows my character. God knows my heart. I am not a perfect human. Things have happened in my past. I have made decisions. I have done stupid shit under the influence that I never would have done if I was sober. And it all stemmed from a long ass time ago when I had low self-esteem and I started drinking to feel more comfortable with myself. And it was only when I was going out. This was not like an everyday thing, whatever, but I did used to go out with a whole lot in my early 20s, and growing up I was partying a whole lot. And within the last few years that has slowed down tremendously. But especially within the last couple of months, just naturally just slowing down drinking and slowing down with going out. Even though I still like to dance, y'all. I ain't about to act like I don't. I still love to dance. I still like to go out, but it's just a matter of now I realize that I don't, I need to drop the habit of when I go out, I need to drink, because I am no longer in that place where I need to drink in order to feel comfortable in my own skin, in order to feel confident. If I have a drink, it's because I want to have a drink. And I can't just be drinking mindlessly just because I'm with people that I trust. Because at the end of the day, I still need to be, because even though I can trust, I could trust the people that I've gone out with or been with, except for this one incident. Even though I could trust them, well, not even this just one incident, but most recent incident. At the end of the day, nobody else is responsible for me. And if something would have happened to me that night, I could not have blamed anybody else for that happening to me, because at the end of the day, I am responsible for myself, and I should have been more responsible with my drinking. And that's not something that's very easy to talk about on a platform, to realize that, you know what, when you started drinking all these years ago, like when you would go out, you were drinking because you were trying to be more comfortable in your own skin. And that habit carried on for so long that I was still carrying it on with me, even though internally I was in a completely different place. And I also want to say that just because you fuck up while on your healing journey, everything ain't gonna be perfect. Healing don't make you a perfect person. But what I wanted to say is, just because you have a fuck up, you mess up, you don't do something right, or you react the wrong way or something while you're on this journey, that doesn't negate the fact that you are progressing. It doesn't negate the fact that you are still healing, that you are still in a better place. It just means that, okay, that's something that you need to address and still work through. It doesn't mean that, okay, well, no, I'm back at square one. I'm back at I'm actually I'm not healing. I'm not in a good place. Don't allow one mistake to define who you are as a person. Don't allow a mistake to define who you are as a person. Because I feel like that could be people on the outside looking in. They see your mistakes, but they don't know the internal work that you do when nobody is around. They don't know the relationship that you have with God. They don't know the things that you've worked through. So to don't allow other people to allow your mistakes to keep you stuck in the past and stuck in that box. Because bottom line is, people make mistakes. People make poor choices, and healing is not linear. There's going to be times where you don't do the right shit. And there'll be times where you felt like, oh, you know what? I thought I got over this thing. I thought I had worked through that, but actually I didn't. Actually, I need to work on it a little more. Actually, I need to focus on this a little more so I can improve in this area. But it doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your character. And people will sometimes try to define your character by the mistakes that you have made. And that's just simply not the case. That's simply not the case. Okay. Y'all, I'm just reading through my notes real quick. Because I think I just, yeah, I really just wanted to address that because it was something that came up because it was an incident that happened, and it reminded me of things that I've dealt with in my past that I have suppressed and not dealt with or not talked about because of fear of judgment in my past, or just fear of being judged, and I didn't talk about it at the time when it happened to me. And now I'm in a better place mentally, internally, where I'm okay if somebody is judging me. I'm okay if somebody thinks the worst of me because of things that I've done or mistakes that I've made. Because at the end of the day, people are going to have their own opinions about you. And I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I don't have a reason to fear judgment because the main judgment that matters is God's judgment. And God knows my heart. God knows my character. And so in the past, I've allowed other people's opinions of me. I've allowed my mistakes, choices I made. I've allowed so many things to keep me in a prison. And I fought hard, hard as a bitch, to get out of that prison. Okay? So yes, I was disappointed in myself for having this incident where, I'm like, I thought I was done with this. But I'm not going to allow it to keep me stuck in lower that lower vibration of beating myself up or blaming myself because I fought too hard to get out of that prison. And I'm not going to allow something to put me back in that bitch. I ain't going back because I don't want to go back. And um, you know, what really even showed me that what really solidified the fact that I was comfortable in my own skin and comfortable, like that I didn't need alcohol to have a good time or to feel comfortable, is when I went on my retreat when I was in Bali for like almost 30 days. And for the most part I wasn't drinking. I think I drank maybe two or three times out of the whole month that I was there. But the times that, you know, that we were having some of the best times and actually just like partying, and I just felt free being myself. I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't care if somebody was judging me. I didn't care who was looking at me. I was just feeling free to be myself. I felt safe to be myself, and it was without alcohol. And so even prior to that, I had realized that, I no longer need alcohol to have a good time, to feel comfortable, or to, make me feel less anxious. But that solidified it for me. And then coming back home and, going out sometimes, it was like the old habit had not died. The old habit of just drinking mindlessly, going out, drinking. I need a drink. I don't need a drink. And so now moving forward, I realized, okay, you had this weak moment real quick. All right, you already been on the right track. You had this weak moment, and baby, now it's time to get back on track. We are not going to dwell on that and allow it to deter you from where God is leading you. But now you know that habit, you need to dead that shit. You need to dead it because it can't go with you to your next season. It can't go with you to your next season. And that's how God teaches us lessons sometimes. Sometimes he used your ass as an example because I feel like he used my ass as an example real quick. Like, this is what happens when you don't listen to the guidance God is giving you, baby. You end up in fucked up situations. And you end up being disappointed in yourself. But you can't even be mad at nobody else but yourself. But you can also, I wasn't expecting to be violated by somebody that I trusted. But that was another wake-up call. That was another wake-up call. God will show you who you need, who to trust. God will show you who to trust. Who is going to be there for you when shit gets real. And it's not always in the most pleasant ways. He will use a fucked up situation to get your ass right. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of this live, I forgot to mention that this is the 10th episode, y'all. This is the 10th week in a row that I've done Wound Care Wednesday. And for me, 10 is a very significant number because the number 10 for me represents endings. It represents new beginnings. And for this incident to happen right before this event, because excuse me, I don't plan the events way ahead of time. I don't plan the topics of discussion, way ahead of time. Like, I usually will get some type of download or get some type of idea like a few days before, or sometimes like the day before, or just different ways. I be getting ideas. I don't plan it way ahead of time. So I had no idea that this is what I would be discussing on tonight. But that's also the way that God communicates with me sometimes. God, my divine spirit team, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that's also ways that they communicate with me sometimes, is through numbers. And for me, 10 represents endings and new beginnings. So I want this to be a representation of ending these old habits that cannot go to this next season with me. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to fuck up again, but I'm committed to releasing that habit. I'm committed to making choices that are aligned with my greatest and highest good, that are aligned with where I want to go, aligned with where God is leading me to. So it's the end of that. And I'm claiming that it's the end of that and the start of a new beginning, the start of a new chapter, because me talking about this really solidified for me the releasing of my fear of being judged. Because putting this out there puts me on a huge, to be judged. I mean, ain't nothing else I can say. I mean, like, you're out, you speaking, you being vulnerable with people. You don't know how people are going to respond, how people are going to react. And not everybody is all is on their healing journey, or not everybody is, about saying positive things to people. So the 10th episode, the 10th event, the number 10 is for me also representing the ending of my fear of being judged. Because if I'm going to place myself in a position where I am being a guide for others, how can I move, and how can I really create a safe space for other people if I myself am afraid of being judged, afraid of being vulnerable? How will I make that safe space for other people to be vulnerable if I'm afraid to be vulnerable? If I'm afraid to be seen, if I'm afraid to be heard, if I'm afraid to be judged, how can I create that type of environment for other people if I myself am not exhibiting that for myself, and not giving that to myself? I have to be able to provide that type of environment for myself before I'm able to provide it for other people. So I said it before and I said it again. When I open up on this platform to tell my stories, to tell things that have happened to me, things that I've experienced, it's not for clout. It's not for sympathy. It's literally because I feel called to do so. Because if it was up to me, baby, I wouldn't be telling y'all shit. And that's just me keeping it real. If it was up to me, my mouth would still be closed. Okay? I am literally just doing as I am told. There's a lot of unknowns on this journey for me. I'm literally walking by faith and not by sight, baby. Because if I was walking by sight, baby, I would have been giving up a long time ago. I would have been giving up, like, fuck all this shit. I don't want to do this shit. I'm going to just stick to what I know, and I'm going to stay comfortable, and that's just what it is. But no. Ain't no going back now. Not for me. Ain't no going back. So, therefore, that's why I'm here. That is why I'm here, y'all. And I appreciate you guys being here with me. I appreciate you guys listening to me, for those who have listened and have heard me out. Yeah, I can't lie, I was feeling a little bit nervous about this particular week, because God had led me to share those things with you guys. But before I started, I was meditating. I prayed on it. I've been kind of in a meditative state kind of majority of the day. Just trying to really process things. Yeah, just processing things. So I know, usually I'm very more energetic on my lives. I'm more bubbly, and um, you know, I just want to be real with y'all. I just want you guys to see the real deal, baby. This is the real deal. This healing shit is not easy all the time. It's not linear, and I'm not always super energetic and always just happy about everything. I go through shit. I go through a lot of shit. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful and I feel blessed. And even though this recent incident happened, I'm sorry, y'all. Verify this thing. But even though, you know, this incident happened, it was very eye-opening for me. And it revealed a lot of different truths to me. So I just want to encourage someone out there to like just don't allow your mistakes to define you. Don't allow other people to define your character by the mistakes that you have made. Okay, work through them, so you can heal through it, and so you can move on. So it doesn't allow you to remain stuck. Like I was about to say something else, but I lost my train of thought. Let me just make sure that there was, yeah, yeah, y'all. Yeah, I've had some not so, not so proud moments. And I'm not ashamed to admit that because a lot of us have had some not so proud moments, but not all of us are called to do what I'm doing. Not all of us are speaking about it. And I just so happen to be called to speak about it. And yeah, so I hope that I can just let you guys see that this is a safe space. This is a no judgment zone, baby. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect human. And I don't strive to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. Only God is perfect. And he got a hard job. He got a tough job and I don't want it. I don't want that job. But I just thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here with me. Thank you guys for listening to my story. Hopefully it has shed a little light on things for somebody out there, okay? Um you guys can I will probably, I think I might. I usually post my lives on my YouTube, which is also The Healing Empress. I think I'm still gonna post it, this one. But also click the link in my bio. Check out my wound care services. Okay, I am all about healing from the inside out. All right. So when things like this come up for me, I work through the shit. I try to tackle the issue, get to the root cause of the issue from the inside out. Okay? That is how you have to build the foundation. And that's how you got to heal. Ain't no way around it. You got to heal from the inside out. Okay? That's the only way. But I do offer services. So if you click the link in my bio, you can browse through the services, see which one best suits your need, your need or your needs. You know, just check it out. I do suggest that you book a post check, which is a phone call with me where we just check the vibe of the connection. You know, it's like a vibe check. Check the vibe of the connection. And that's $25. But if you book a wound care one-on-one coaching session with me, you'll get $25 off of your first session. So really the phone call would be free. Hello. But yes, do click the link in my bio and check out my services. Check out my Amazon storefront, TikTok shop. Subscribe to my YouTube. Okay, I will be posting, most likely, I will be posting this live replay on my YouTube. Okay, and yeah, I appreciate y'all and I thank y'all for being here. I'm excited to see what the future has in store for me. We shall see. Okay. And I will see y'all maybe next week. I'm here every Wednesday, 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Wound Care Wednesday. We talk about healing shit, spiritual shit, and all shit that helps us elevate. Okay. So I hope you guys have an amazing night.